This is the Front Stretch on AM 590, brought to you by Joe's Karting, online at joeskarting.com.
This is the Front Stretch presented by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, and this is turn 4. We're just about done with the show. This goes by so fast.
We're
gonna have to talk to Rich. Maybe next year we can get 2 hours.
Well, I mean, with Andrew not being here, at least we can get a word in inchwise, you know. And
yeah. Some weeks we have trouble getting him to talk. Some weeks we have trouble getting him to stop it. You know, these drivers, though, I tell you what, they're a bunch of characters.
Well, he's almost like his. I mean, if the listeners ever get a chance to meet Andrew Kaziski, you'd seriously think Joey Logano had a twin brother. Either Joey's hot or he's not. Andrew, not so hot, but he can wheel a race car. So.
He does have a striking resemblance to Joey Logano, and luckily he doesn't have as bad a luck as he does. Well, this is turn 4. It's salvaged by Kaziski Auto Parts. Looking for quality used parts to get your car or truck back on the road? Give an experienced person a sales call today at Kaziski Auto Parts. You can call Andrew or one of the other salespeople there at 731-4592. That is in Omaha, so it's 402-731-4592. You can also stop by Monday through Friday at 50th and I Street. I believe they close up at about 5 o'clock. So
5:30.
I know one of the production guys here at Journal Broadcast backed into his old car and destroyed the front of the car. And so he gave Andrew a call this week, and I know they were able to help him out and get him some parts for his, I believe it was a Hyundai.
Hyundai.
So they were able to track that stuff down. He just gave him a call, gave him the car model, and they tracked everything down for him. So
You know, the one thing I do hear about Kaziski Auto is, well, they're kind of pricey. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, there might be a little bit more than You Pull It, but at You Pull It, there's a reason why it's called You Pull It.
Yeah, you're gonna
have to go out there, get dirty, get nasty, spend your hours away from work, lose money just to buy the parts at a discounted price. You go over to Kaziski Auto Parts. It's not like they're extremely expensive, because they're not, but they're just a little bit more than You Pull It. But the nice thing is they have qualified techs that go get the parts for you. You walk in, you give them your plastic or your green, and then the parts are sitting right there. They have a warranty. So, you know, for the ease and convenience of getting your parts.
Yeah, and I've always said I'm willing to pay a little bit more for service.
Yes.
I mean, whenever we go out to Quaker Steak and Lube to get something to eat, if I get a good waitress or waiter, I will definitely tip them well.
Absolutely.
Listen, first of all, that's what they live off of. And second of all, I want to show my appreciation. And the next time I come in, you better believe Hannah takes good care of us, because she knows she's going to make some good tips off of us. So, you know, I always pay for service. I'm always willing to pay a little bit more to make sure the job is done right, and you're going to get that at Kaziski Auto Parts, 50th and I Street. You can also give them a call today at 731-4592. Give them a call on Monday. I don't believe they're open on Sundays. So
no, Monday through Friday.
You know, we've been talking about it last week. We talked about it this week. Let's give a little bit of a history is behind it, why we're going to talk about this. You have had an absolutely horrible start to the season.
This is probably the worst start to the season that I've had in, last 4 years.
And, you know, people are going to sit here and say that we're trying to compare dirt track to NASCAR, and that there's very few similarities between it. But I will tell you guys, I've watched all 3 of the races that you've been able to race this year so far. He is having a Jeff Gordon kind of a season. When he does you do have a fast car. I mean, I've seen you wheel that baby around there, knocking down a couple of positions, but at Eagle, you got caught up in an accident, and both times at Crawford County Speedway, you got caught up in an accident, which were not your fault.
Well, the one at Eagle, I will claim to be my fault, because I did get a little too high in the marbles. I made contact with the rear outside wall. So that one, you know, and I'm not going to come on the airwaves and just throw any one or two certain individuals under the bus. This is going to go across the board, not to all drivers, but to all drivers.
And when we have heard NASCAR drivers say this before, and I hear Tony Stewart say it all the time, especially when he gets wrecked, because he seems to find an easy way to just complain whenever he gets wrecked. But he said this several times, that early in a race and early in the season, relax.
Yes, relax.
Just calm down. You can take an 8th place finish this early in the season because you've got, 15 weeks to make up for it?
Yeah.
But in your case, essentially, your season is shot at Crawford because you haven't been able to finish the 2 races of the season so far.
I did place and get points, but this week we're going to be sitting out. You've seen the damage on the car.
And the other thing is, your schedule is race Crawford Friday night, race Eagle Saturday night. You've now DNF'd or did not appear DNA'd
for 2 shows.
For 2 races, and you're out of it there too. So your season is essentially trashed. I mean, the best thing you could do is just go out there and have fun. You're not going to get any points. You're going to get points, but you're not going to be able to battle for the
believe it or not, at
championship.
this time, what we're seriously thinking about doing is instead of going to either track weekly now because it's kind of pointless, now we're thinking about, well, we're just racing for fun now. Let's go to Raceway Park in Sioux City. Let's go to Wagner up in Wagner, South Dakota. Let's go to Corning one night. Let's just travel around. I mean, there's no sense of chasing points now. It's pointless.
But you're to the point we're trying to make here is that that drivers out there. I know there's a lot of dirt track drivers that listen. We talk to them every week. You get phone calls from them. We talk to them on Facebook. Talk to them at the tracks when we're out there watching the races. There's a lot of drivers out there that are listening. And if you're a younger driver, and something you and I have had a lot of conversations about with this, relax. You don't have to win the race as soon as the green flag goes.
Yeah, this week we didn't even. I think by the time the green flag, when the flagman drops the green flag, before the green flag got to the bottom of his wave, we had I don't know how many cars.
Yeah, this week you started
15th.
Inside row 8. And by the time I was watching the race, by the time I watched the front 2 rows go by the start finish line, you were already wrecked out of turn 4. So you didn't even get to complete a lap.
No, I didn't even make it to the flag stand.
Yeah,
but it's not like I was the only car.
Right. I believe that was a 5 or a 6 car pileup.
At least.
And if you guys want to see it, go to ccspeedway.com, ccsdirtracing.com. I apologize. That's Crawford County's website, and they post all the videos. You can see it from last week, the accident you got involved in, and see it for yourself. Just, I mean, the absolute carnage that unfolded. And you and I had a lot of conversations about this Friday night and Saturday
night. Oh, dear Lord, yes, we did.
And as far as what needs to be done, do you as a driver pull these guys aside, or in the driver's meeting when the track's done talking and they haven't said anything about it, do you as a driver sit there and say, guys, listen, I know I'm nobody special, but we got to relax. You guys can't be racing for the win when there's a 20-lap feature and everyone's wrecking on the first lap.
I am liable to be hated as a driver after this show.
More?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm hated now, but I'm probably going to have some dislikes. We're going to hear about this on the front stretch.
Well, you know what?
Last year at Eagle.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time. Last year at Eagle, we had some drivers. 2010, we had some drivers that caused a lot of yellows, a lot of wrecks, stuff like that. We got on them. They're like, well, learn to race us clean. You're causing the wrecks and the accidents.
Yeah, I've seen both your accidents.
But right now, especially with Crawford County Speedway, I love that track. As mad as I am, I love that track. I want to see the track succeed. I want to see the high car counts. I want to see them making money. I want anything and everything good for that.
And that community has turned out for that track.
Yes, it has.
That's a community that's definitely supporting it.
We have a 13-week schedule. There's no reason on week 2 that we're lighting the tires up, driving too hard and causing a 10-car pileup. That is not what the fans want to see. The occasional wreck, yes, it's going to happen. It's dirt track. The bent bumpers, the tore up sheet metal. But come on, guys. What happens is that when you have the really good drivers come out, and there's been, I know in the sport mods alone, I'm not going to mention names, there's 5 drivers that were top 100 or top 10 in the nation last year. They don't want to come back. Well, what happens is when they don't come back, the quality of the show drops. As the quality of the show drops, the fans start dwindling away. As the fans dwindle away, Dan, you're the Crawford County announcer. In 6 weeks, what you're going to have is 100 people in the stands and 50 cars in the pits. Who wants to pay $8 on a Friday night to go watch that?
Yeah.
We're getting 110 cars, 1,500 people in the stands. These guys don't want to see, one green lap followed by 2 cautions, 1 green lap. They want to see the fender to fender. The best thing that you could have saw for your money was Josh Most in that late model Friday night. Man, he was getting it in there. He was roughing them up a little bit. He's making the passes. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see the multi-car wrecks and the caution after caution. Drivers, calm down. We're racing through August. Yeah, we're racing through August with our point seasons. calm down. There's plenty of time. Don't be taking guys out.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you've now had to dip into the checking account yet again and get some money out to pay for your season. We've run out of time for the show. We want to say a big thank you to everybody who makes it possible. Joe's Karting, obviously, our awesome sponsors. Gus, thank you for pushing the buttons. Couldn't do the show without you. We want to say
gotta love Gus.
Tune in next week. We're going to talk with Bill Layton Jr., driver the number 24 late model, and we'll also talk about what's going to happen at the Coca-Cola 600. Andrew will be back next week. We'll all be back, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to talk NASCAR and dirt track. Thank you so much for joining us. Head over to the Facebook page, and you can talk to us all week long. This is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.